One of our viewers left a comment saying he appreciated how we don't curse on the show. But boy, do I want to. Find out why next on Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias alongside my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, what's going on?
Not offense.
No.
Today on Locked On Yankees, of course, if you are watching on our YouTube side, then you can drop comments here on this episode and we will answer your questions on Friday. As always, that's the case here on Locked On Yankees. So make sure you drop a comment down below. What do you have to ask? I'm sure you have questions, so drop them down below. We got game 2 preview as always in our final run. Of course, we have some injury updates we couldn't get to for Monday's show. Carlos Rodon and Trivino. And first, Stacey, the offense struggled against Sonny Gray, 7 shutout frames in the opener in a chilly 40-degree Minneapolis.
You know, I wish I was into gambling and that I, did more with FanDuel because I would have bet on Sonny Gray doing this tonight. You could feel it. You knew it as soon as it lined up this way for this series. And with the way the offense was not doing anything the last few games, it just felt like a Sonny Gray is going to shut down the Yankees start. And that's exactly what happened.
His curveball looked great.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I mean, he got Franchi a couple times. His off-speed stuff was working great. A lot of ground balls, which is uncharacteristic for the Yankees.
Yeah, this is the thing that bothers me. When the Yankees had Sonny Gray, I was frustrated with the fact that he didn't do well with them. And then I got frustrated with the fact that the Yankees were basically trying to change him, which was why he didn't do as well in New York. They were trying to make him throw pitches that he didn't feel comfortable throwing. And he has turned himself into a better pitcher again. And it's just frustrating to watch this because that happened to a few guys that the Yankees had in the last few years. This was before Matt Blake came to the Yankees. Things aren't quite the same as they were, but it's just frustrating to see this. And I know Yankee fans are probably livid right now, but, good for him. It's good that he turned things around because, when a guy fails in New York, it sometimes puts like a cloud over him in a way, like, oh, we couldn't make it in the big lights of New York. But I don't like him pitching well against the Yankees, but I'm glad that he turned things around for himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a great start to the season.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be the first to admit I had written him off 2 years ago. I'd completely written him off. I was like, man, why? Because, again, we've talked about it 100 times, but I'm an Angels fan, and, Angels have not had pitching for years, essentially, until really this year, last year. But, the rumors of let's get Sonny Gray. And I'm going, for what? For this?
Yeah.
For this, I've been proven wrong. I've been proven wrong a million times. Don't ever take anything I say as Bible. I can be wrong just like you can be wrong and just like anybody can be wrong. We were right, though, about this first game.
Yeah.
We knew that Sonny Gray against a cold Yankees lineup in a cold climate was not going to bode well. 6-1, they scored that 1 run in the 9th, and it could have not scored had they come home with the throw.
Right. They also had a chance in the 8th, and it was one of those games that was really annoying because, the Yankees got things going a little more in the later innings. And, it was just funny when they had the bases loaded. It was 2 outs and Minnesota met on the mound. And I jokingly tweeted, I said, why are they even worried? The Yankees aren't going to do anything. And they didn't. So
yeah,
it's just
big chance there. You got a break there to get Judge on base. Miranda with a bad throw. Rizzo comes up, and that's like a huge spot. That was a nasty 0-2 slider from Griffin Jax. That was a filthy pitch.
Yeah.
And you could see the frustration mounting immediately from Rizzo. It's getting to these guys.
Yeah.
They're just not hitting over the last week and a half.
Yeah. Rizzo's one of the guys who is hitting. So is DJ LeMahieu. But in that spot, you want Rizzo to hit and he doesn't. So yeah, that's frustrating. And also Griffin Jax, your name is backwards. You should be Jax Griffin.
Yeah, that base is loaded in the 9th with nobody out. Cabrera. I mean, you kind of have the wrong part of the lineup, unfortunately, that spot. You get Oswaldo Cabrera on the fielder's choice. That brings in the only run. Trivino flies out. I thought they may have tried to push it to try and tag, but they didn't. And then Hicks strikes out. But look, of course, it's Hicks that has to be in that spot. Don't blame this loss on Hicks.
No.
But I don't like to talk smack on umpires ever, but Rob Drake's strike zone in game 1 was terrible.
Awful.
He had a really bad strike zone. There was a couple of really bad calls.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees weren't doing anything, but it is frustrating.
Yeah, it didn't matter much,
an umpire,
but it changed a couple of at-bats.
Yeah, and it feels like it's all over baseball, and you'll see it throughout Twitter, and I follow that umpire auditor account, and I'm noticing that called strike accuracy is down a lot, where some of these guys hover around like 90%. I'm seeing 83s, 86s, and it's like, so I don't know what's going on with the umps, but.
Well, you know what else is going on? Joey Gallo homered.
That was another thing I was expecting.
Yeah, 6th of the year. In his first game against the Yankees, a 1-0 fastball that just leaked out over the plate from Greg Weissert. Of course, Weissert came in for Jhony Brito. Brito just 2 2/3, Stacy.
He looked so good for the first 2 innings. Retired 6 out of 7. Yeah, and just fell apart. So, and we said this about because the first start against the Twins was the one where he was knocked out really early and they scored all those runs against him in the first inning. And I said it about his start in his second start, the start between these two. Where I said, if he gets out of the first, it'll make him more comfortable. And this time I was like, wow, he made it out of the second too. This is great. And then
fell apart on him.
Yeah.
Fell apart. Couldn't get out of the third. You're forced to use your only left-handed option later on in the game. I'm going to sing that tune till the cows come home. You go to Greg Weissert early, asking to get a couple innings out of him. He did get out of that third inning nicely. But Stacey, this brings us to a bigger point here. And what I wanted to ask you, this is what's happening in New York. They are not playing good baseball. They are not hitting the ball. They're not getting runners on. They're not moving those runners. They're not doing all the little things to get a win.
Right.
Save a couple of guys pitching. The bullpen has been good. Garrett Cole has obviously been good. Nestor's been good. But is this reality? Like, is this the new reality for the New York Yankees here in 2023? Is this the real team?
No, it's not.
How can you be so sure, Stacey? I know that over the last couple of days in our comments, there have been a lot of freaked out Yankees fans. And yes, I know some can be over the top. All fans can do that. But how can you be so sure, Stacey, that this is not the real New York Yankees?
Because I'm nearly 49 years old. I've watched a lot of Yankees baseball, and I've seen bad Yankees teams. And no, this is just a bad phase. I feel like when people come back, when some pitchers come back, if they come back, they might not be as good as they were last year. Let's just get that out of the way. And they might have to sneak into the playoffs, but this isn't a bad team. They're just having a bad run right now, and people need to kind of calm down. And I know people are going to say, everyone keeps saying it's April, but it's almost May is next week. I know, just breathe.
That's arbitrary.
Everyone breathe. It's okay. Right now,
you mentioned that
they're bad.
Yes.
I don't see this lasting.
When players come back, Bader's the obvious. Yes. But is Bader enough right now?
It might be. Like I said in a few episodes ago, I feel like the combination of Bader and Volpe could get this team going, maybe. I also feel like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I feel like the captain needs to kind of step up here, because I think the captain needs to start doing his thing. We're nearly a month into the season, and I know Judge isn't like a loud, boisterous dude, but I feel like he needs to start being the captain and being like, dudes, what's going on here? We got to step up, and he needs to step up a little bit too. But yeah, no, they're not this bad. It's not going to last that long. It might be a little longer, though, because after this, they go to Texas, and Texas is playing really well. So, they're getting this run of tough teams right now. And, there will be a lull in the schedule a little bit when they play teams that they should beat. But right now, this is kind of a tough part of the season. And, right now they're not doing well against the tough part of the season. But again, they're not playing with a full roster. They're not playing with everyone they expected to play with. And this isn't the team that's going to be the same team in August. I'm telling you right now. I would bet my hair, but I don't want to risk it.
You said August, Stacey. That's at this pace too late. There's
No. But I mean,
yeah, I know. But I'm saying, like, what is your timeline? Like, when do you think? Because I know Yankees fans want to know, and we try to look into the crystal ball here. But for you, like, how long is this? Like, how long can you weather this storm when Tampa is building a ridiculous lead already in the East? Like, at some point, it's insurmountable. It doesn't matter how well you play, really.
yeah.
I know these are tough questions. I hate to put you on the spot, but I know this is what Yankees fans are thinking.
I would say get worried by right before Memorial Day. After they're in Toronto, because they're in Toronto, I think mid-May. Like from that point on, if things don't get better, then I would start to worry. But worry, but not, panic. You can worry now, but don't panic yet. It's too early to panic.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I just think,
like you could be worried about how they're playing.
I'm just saying still, if you play 10 games over 5 moving, for the rest of the season, which is good baseball overall with ups and downs, it's still not enough. Yeah. Even if Tampa plays just 500 ball or even 5 under, it's not enough. It's just not enough. Yes, you can be like, well, it's early. And I know a lot of people will say that, and I still think that's valid. But at some point, it's getting late early, and Tampa keeps winning. They just keep winning. Every win counts the same, whether it's in April or it's in September. True. Flat out. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm sure you have thoughts. Drop them in the comment section here on YouTube. I know you're freaking out. Don't freak out too hard, but I think your worries are valid. I think they are. Because that back end of that lineup, even if it gets a couple of guys going, I mean, how long do you wait for French Cortes to get going? I mean, what is that leash? Is he here all season? I don't know. What moves can even be done? It's not like a bunch of dudes are raking in Scranton right now. Yeah. It's like Andres Chaparro. Is Andres Chaparro going to turn your team around? No knock to him. I think he's a great ball player, but I don't think he's the answer to turn everything around. No offense. Anyway, let us know how you feel. Of course, you can catch Game 2 tonight, 7:40 Eastern in Minnesota, out at Target Field on the SiriusXM app, and of course on SiriusXM. All you have to do is have a trial or a subscription. Coming up in a second, we have some injury updates to Rodon and Trivino, so you want to stick around.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnMLB.
Hey, back here on Locked On Yankees. Time to chat a little bit about these injury updates. Are they updates? I don't really know. They're what you need to know. It's weird. Hey, thanks for making us your first listen, by the way, to the everydayers out there. We love you. We appreciate you. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we'll hopefully have some offense to talk about. I mean, it is time. It is time to the Yankees score 4 runs with Nestor on the mound. That'd be nice. Carlos Rodon. How many times are we going to – I feel like every week we got a update for you. Stacey, what is the update for Carlos Rodon?
He played catch on Sunday. His back issues continue. There's still no official timeline, and they're still waiting for him to throw his first bullpen. So not great. but also not terrible because there isn't, yes, there's a setback, but it's not a bad setback, if that makes sense. It's not like he
No, not really.
re-injured something.
Like I said, this is an update.
Yeah, it's
Like it's a holding pattern. It
right.
feels.
Yeah.
We're in a time loop.
Just, yeah, this
I
is,
wish we had better news today, Stace.
I know this is
This is a downtrodden. This is an episode, dude.
We're sorry, guys. I mean, if we could make it happier, we would, but there's really
This is it. This is a reality. Again, this is a reality for the Yankees right now.
Mhm.
Rodon is not going to be back by end of April. I
because
think
we're
that's
at the end
pretty.
of April.
It's
Yeah.
checks watch end of April. That was our initial timeline back in spring training, right? Was by end of April.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at it going second week of May.
Maybe.
He's got to throw that pen. He's got to throw that pen.
That's the most important thing. If he can get through that bullpen and not have any issues with the original injury, which was an arm injury, and then hopefully get his back in check. Yeah, the back is tricky. We saw it with
Always
Rizzo.
is.
He's been fine, but yeah, that's a very tricky injury to have for both positions, pitcher and catcher, because your
Yeah.
back is really
Anything.
as someone who has injured their back and has felt it for the past 25 years, it's not a fun body part to hurt because once you hurt it, you will never be the same the rest of your life. It's unbelievable.
Second injury update.
Oof.
Trivino.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
UCL strain has halted his rehab.
Yeah, it is. This has been the injury the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the throwing elbow, which, hey, you ever watch baseball before? You know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
He's speaking of holding pattern, they have just stopped him. Just
Yeah.
dead stop. Don't do anything.
It's funny watching a guy pitch in real time. You see what their arms do, but when you see a picture of what the elbow is doing when a guy pitches, it's gross. And you think to yourself, how are more guys not snapping their elbows when they pitch? Honestly, it's unbelievable what the human body is capable of doing with pitching. It's not a natural thing either. So I'm amazed more guys don't injure their elbows at this point, and especially with how hard a lot of these guys are throwing now. But this is disappointing, and yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah. I mean, never. If there's only one takeaway you take away from this episode today, never forget that pitching is the direct opposite of what we're supposed to be doing with our bodies.
Really?
It's just what it is. It's not how the arm works.
No.
Have you ever looked at a shoulder?
Yeah, I know. I don't understand.
Have you ever looked at a ball and socket in your shoulder?
Yeah.
It does not. It's not supposed to rotate that way. Lift your arm straight up in the air. Does it feel great? Not
Right.
really.
Yeah.
Now throw it around.
Yeah. I was doing a warm up for a Peloton class and they were having me do, and I'm like, I can't get my elbow or I can't get my shoulder as high as a pitcher does. I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
That goes completely against your shoulder's body, like how your body works. That's why softball pitchers last way better.
Mhm.
Anyway, again, lighthearted episode today, folks, but this is the reality. This is what's going on. Again, Trivino is in a holding pattern. Rodon, semi-holding pattern. We're waiting to see when he can throw that first bullpen.
But at least
Hopefully soon.
Bader's on his way back. I mean, that's positive.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Take that away for you. Game 2 tonight against the Twins again, 7:40 Eastern on the SiriusXM app. We're going to talk about that game in just a moment.
So Rare is a revolutionary fantasy baseball game and marketplace transforming fans into owners with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Unlike other fantasy baseball platforms, So Rare managers truly own their fantasy experience, collecting, buying, selling, and competing with player cards against global opponents to win epic rewards. Win or lose, you still own your cards, and there's no cost to play. MLB game weeks happen twice weekly, and they're 3 to 4 days. That's how long the cycle is. And at the end of each week, So Rare MLB managers who rank at the top or near the top of their leaderboards will win a variety of rewards. It can include a bunch of things, including game tickets, signed jerseys, and VIP experiences. Prizes may vary depending on the competition. Head to sorare.com/lockedon. That's spelled SORARE.com to draft your team of free player cards, set your lineup, and start competing today to win epic rewards. Again, that's sorare.com/lockedon to start playing today.
Back here, Locked On Yankees. Let's chat about tonight's game 2, Stacy. 7:40 Eastern from Target Field. Nestor on the bump against Joe Ryan. Last time out for Nestor, remember he carried a no-no fairly deep. What was it, into the 5th or 6th inning against the Angels, of course, surrendering a couple hits in a row. Ended up getting tagged with 3 earned, 4 hits, 2 walks, 7 Ks. What are your go-tos for Nestor Cortes to try and get the Yankees back on track?
I don't think it's his responsibility. I think it's the offense's responsibility. I think if he, at this point with the way the offense is, even if he keeps them to only 2 or 3, it might not be, it might be too much, And I don't want to say Nestor has to go out and pitch a complete game shutout, but it almost feels
how
like,
huge would that be?
I know, but it
That would
almost
be
feels
so
like,
huge.
but it feels like he needs to. It feels like he needs to have the kind of start that Cole had against the Twins. Right? It was the Twins, right? On that Sunday game.
Yes.
I feel like he needs to do the same thing, because if the offense isn't doing much and only scoring 1, maybe 2 runs, or a combination of Cortes and bullpen guys, if Cortes can maybe stretch it out to 7 innings. He did 6 last time.
If he could stretch to 7, it'd be huge. Game 1, Weissert, Abreu, Peralta, Cordero all pitched. And you're in the midst of no days off. Either that or you need a snow out. You need some help. You need some help. Mother Nature needs to come in and help.
Yeah.
Either combination. Yeah, if you can get, I know this is greedy, but man, you get 8 out of them. Massive. Absolutely massive.
Yeah.
I'd take 6 again. I'd take 7, obviously, and anything above that is just gravy if you can get it. Joe Ryan last time out, 3 earned against Boston, 6 innings of work, a walk, 3 Ks, and 3 hits. So, I don't know, glass half fulling. I mean, on paper, the Yankees offense is better than Boston's offense. Maybe tonight's the night they wake up and go on a +20 game tear.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's really odd because, they played Minnesota 4 games in New York. They split it. And now they've lost this, which means they've lost 3 out of 5 to the Twins, which doesn't usually happen. So this is just really odd. And I've been, since I've had this show, 5 years, I've been telling Yankee fans, at some point, the Twins are going to win a series against the Yankees. And at some point, they're going to kind of turn their fortunes around. And it could be now.
They're starting to. Yeah, they could do it tonight. That pitching staff is just good. I mean, it just is. Yeah. And with the emergence of Sonny Gray, it's just made it better. I mean, we talked about Pablo Lopez last time the Yanks faced him, and we're like, hey, this kid's dude. This guy's a dude. Like, he's just good. Man.
He just happened to be up against a really good Garrett Cole that day.
Yeah, it just happened to work out. That easily could have been a loss for the Yankees.
Yep.
Anyway, that game 2 tonight again, 7:40 Eastern on the SiriusXM app, and of course on SiriusXM. Anywhere, wherever you listen to it, however you listen to it, you can catch tonight's game at 7:40. Tomorrow on Locked On Yankees, again, hopefully we have some good news. Hopefully we have some good stuff to talk about. We will see where the Yankees stand at that point. I think they need a big bounce back game. We talked about it last week. Remember, going, if the Yankees lose what at that point was this series against the Angels, then watch for them to spiral. They barely won that series, and they still spiraled. They are spiraling right now. They need a stop game. Nestor needs to be the savior. We'll see. Hopefully that becomes the case for us to chat about with you tomorrow. Hit the subscribe button here on YouTube, or of course on whatever audio platform is of your choosing. That's going to do it for today. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.